Okay guys, Mrs. Sirota here, and I wanted to continue our review on 16.1 classifying triangles. As you can see here, I have the notes that you took with Mrs. Ray on Friday, and I wanted to add a note to the bottom of that. I wanted to let you know that all of the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So for example, let's look at number 3. Notice that we had a 60-degree angle, a 60-degree angle, and a 60-degree angle. If you were to add up 60 plus 60 plus 60, that equals 180 degrees. That is something that came up when I took the quick check on 16.1, and I believed it was something that I needed you to know. So I want you to add this to your journal at this time. All angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. If you need to pause at any time to write that down, be my guest, and then just resume playing when you are finished. A quick review of these triangles. Triangles can be classified by their lengths of their sides, and they can also be classified by the measures of their angles. So Miss Ray told you that each triangle has 2 names. This is how you do it. So we have the equilateral triangle, which has 3 equal sides. We also know that it has 3 equal angles. We have the isosceles triangle that has 2 equal sides, and the opposite angles are also equal. We have this scalene triangle that has no equal sides and no equal angles. So a triangle with a side that measures 17 centimeters, a side of 15 centimeters, and a side of 12 centimeters is a blank triangle. What kind of triangle do you believe that is? Equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? Well, I hope you answered scalene, because scalene is the one that doesn't have any equal sides, and as you can see here, the measurements of these sides are not the same. So this is a scalene triangle, okay? And then secondly, it says here, triangles can be classified by the measures of their angles. We have an acute, which is acute, as Miss Ray says. That's the one with the smaller angles, because it's so small and cute. We have, which again, all of those angles are less than 90 degrees. We have the right triangle, which has 1 right angle, and the right angle measures 90 degrees. So we have 1 angle that's 90 degrees. And then we have the obtuse triangle, which has the 1 larger than 90 degree angles. The obtuse triangle is bigger than a right triangle, and the acute triangle is smaller than the right triangle. So down here it says a triangle with angle measures of 48, 65, and 67 is what kind of triangle? Well, all of those numbers, are they less than 90? Are one of those numbers 90? Or are one of those numbers bigger than 90? Well, they're all less than 90, so that means we have an acute triangle. All right, you may refer back to this video at any time for these notes, but they are the same as the notes that you took over here. I'd like to go over a couple of problems with you. Please follow me over to your large Volume 2 math book, and you're going to head over to page 623. I'm going to do a couple of more examples with you, and then I'm going to assign problems for you to work on to get additional practice today. Okay. So I'm going to start up here in the guided practice. And it says, let's blow this up a little bit. Hopefully that makes it better for you to see on the video. Can a right triangle have an obtuse angle? Why or why not? Well, we can look at this in a couple of different ways. And the way I'd like to look at this is through math. What is the total amount that these angles can add up to? Well, Miss Sirota just told you that the total amount these angles can add up to is 180 degrees. Now, what is the measurement of this right triangle? Your notes tell me a right triangle has 1 angle that is a 90-degree measurement. So you are going to take the total minus the one angle that we know. So 180 minus 90 gives me 90. Now I'm going to take what I already know about an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is larger than 90 degrees. So if I had a right triangle that's 90 degrees, that has one 90-degree angle, can I also have an obtuse angle in there? Well, no, because the only measurement I have left is 90 degrees, so my other two angles have to add up to 90 degrees. So the answer is no. My right triangle cannot have an obtuse angle because the angles would add up to more than 180 degrees if I were to add an obtuse angle to a right triangle. It cannot be done. All right, number 2. Can an equilateral triangle have only two sides of equal length? Why or why not? Well, what do I know about an equilateral triangle? The equilateral triangle has 3 equal sides. The equilateral triangle also has 3 equal angles. So, can an equilateral triangle have only 2 sides of equal length? No, because an equilateral triangle has 3 equal sides. All right. Do you know how? In 3 and 4, classify each triangle by its sides and then by its angles. Again, remember, Mrs. Ray said that every triangle has 2 names. All right, so number 3, her notes said, and let me refresh my memory, I think it said, look at the angles first. So Miss Ray said, look at the angles first. Well, I have a 60-degree angle here, a 60-degree angle here, and a 60-degree angle here. So that's telling me I have 3 of the same or equal angles, okay? So if I'm looking at the angles, the names of the angles are scalene, isosceles, nope, sorry. The sides are scalene, isosceles, and equilateral. The angles, are acute, right, and obtuse. So if we're looking at the angles, we have to look at the measurement of these angles. And I like to go immediately to a right angle. A right angle has a 90-degree angle. Okay. These are less than 90 degrees. So that means to me it's acute. It's that acute smaller angle. If it were bigger than 90 degrees, it would be obtuse, but these are not. So this is an acute triangle by angle measurements. Now we need to do the second step. Look at the sides. Well, these sides are all 3 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 3 centimeters. They are equal. They are all the same. So when we're looking at the sides, I'm looking at my notes over here, and the one that has 3 congruent or equal sides is the equilateral triangle. So this is an acute equilateral triangle. Okay, it has its 2 names. So again, like Miss Ray said, we have the 2 steps. Look at the angles, look at the sides. Let's look at number 4. Did number 4 tell us any of the angles? Why, yes, it does. It tells us this angle right here. And this one says it's a right triangle. The right triangle is always shown. Hold on here. Let me see if I can get this any better. The right triangle is always shown by this square in the center of it. Sorry. Alarm going on. Okay. So the right triangle is always depicted with that square in its corner. So I already know by angles I have a right triangle, okay? But now I need to look at the sides. And the sides, they're either scalene, which has no equal sides. We have isosceles, which has two equal or congruent sides. Or we have equilateral, which has three congruent sides. My sides here are 9.9 inches, 7 inches, and 7 inches. Well, I repeated 7 inches twice, so these two angles are the same. That means I have an isosceles triangle. So this is a right isosceles triangle. I'd like to go over two more problems with you just to make sure you understand what's happening. So in independent practice on page 623, number 5, step 1, look at the angles. I have a 30-degree angle, a 75-degree angle, and a 75-degree angle. I'm going to start with a right triangle. A right triangle is 90 degrees, has one 90 degrees angle. The triangle that's smaller than that is the acute triangle, and they have angles that are less than 90 degrees. The triangle that is larger than a right triangle is the obtuse triangle, and it has one angle that's bigger than 90 degrees. Do I have a 90-degree angle here? No, I don't have a right angle. Do I have angles that are less than 90 degrees? I sure do. I have 3 of them. So that makes this an acute angle, or acute triangle. Okay, so it's acute. Now, step 2, I look at the sides. I have a side of 6 inches, I have a side of 3.1 inches, and I have a side of 6 inches. I said 6 inches twice, didn't I? That means I have 2 congruent or equal sides. And I know that the name of the triangle with 2 congruent sides is isosceles. So this is an acute isosceles triangle. One last shot. We are supposed to, 1, look at the angles. Well, I have the square here, and I don't have any information on the other angles. But I know this square tells me it's a 90-degree right angle. So I have a right triangle right here, and it's 90 degrees. Then, step 2, look at the sides. 9 yards, 15 yards, 12 yards. Do I have any sides that are equal? Nope. So I look at my notes and I see that a scalene triangle has no sides or angles that are congruent. So this is a right scalene triangle. All right, guys. I hope that helped.